What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 54 Yards. I know I said that opening statement kind of fast. I do apologize. But we're back, Cam. Yet another episode. Um, well, kind of tough game for both of us this week. It's y'all are on the road. We're finally back at home after a month.
Yeah,
But
long time.
got a top 10 matchup coming to town. Y'all are going to Tennessee. Hostile environment, will be loud, and maybe concerns for your offense just because y'all haven't, you know, uh, been ideal the past few weeks. And so you're going to an environment where it's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. It's probably not the best environment for an offense that's been kind of quote unquote struggling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll be tough. It's a fun atmosphere. It'll probably be the craziest atmosphere that any Oklahoma player has played in on the current roster
More than
to
Red
this
River.
day. So yeah, I would say just because it's like you still got like your fans there. It's still
Yeah.
half and half. Like you still feel like that, but you're gonna go on the road to Neyland. It's gonna be 100,000 plus. It's gonna be loud. It's at night. They're wearing their black jerseys, but you know I personally think a game like this, depending on the player, I think a lot of players, kind of rise up in these type of games, kind of play a lot better than you would think they will, just because you're already on the road. You got to be on edge. You got to swing first. You got to kind of take the fight to the home team. And there's nothing, at least as a ex current athlete, there's nothing more satisfying than taking the air out the stadium, taking the life out the stadium. You make a big play, you score a touchdown, you get an interception, you know, things like that. You can really take the life out of the stadium and put a team on edge. So I'm excited. It'll be a fun game. Obviously it's a tough game, but this is why you go to the SEC. You're not playing, Joe Smo anymore. You're going to be playing, some really good teams with passionate fans. This will be, I think, Oklahoma's first time to Knoxville since Baker was there. So I'm sure there's a lot of fans that remember that game. That game was crazy as it is. We were down most of the game and came back in the fourth and then won it in overtime. So I'm sure there's a lot of fans that remember that game and they're probably going to want revenge. But, last year, I thought we played them well last year. I thought we could have won the game. Jackson Arnold didn't help us out by any means, but we were able to create some turnovers and wasn't able to put that one away. But I'm excited about this one. I think Mateer will play well. I know he's been struggling, but I think this is the type of game where he can kind of get right. Get back on track. I think Arbuckle's got to get him some easy completions early. You don't got to get everything at once. Throw some little screens, throw some little swing routes, throw some little curls, some slants. Just kind of sometimes you just got to see the ball go through the hoop. You just got to see completions, and that'll build his confidence. And I think this is a game also where we got to lean on the running backs. Xavier Robinson, 20 touches.
Yeah, I mean
You know,
that's. I feel like y'all should have been doing that.
for sure. We should have did it last week. I mean,
Yeah.
once you see a back get over 100 yards on 9 carries, it's like
Why would you
they
not run
clearly
the
can't
ball?
tackle him. Like, and that's what frustrated me last week is, one of those drives, he had a carry of like 6 yards, and he had another carry for like 8 yards to get the first down. We ran it again. We get stopped behind or like right at the line of scrimmage for like a yard or 0. But it's like, that doesn't mean you just completely abandon it.
Yeah.
They're gonna get some plays, but I think you got to lean on that. And some of the people in Oklahoma Discord, they were like, Xavier is more built for the SEC, which I agree. I think he needs to be
he
the
looks
lead
the
back.
best out of all the running backs, and it's not
Yeah,
close.
I think and I think Torrey is really good too. He's just young. You can just tell his body, things like that. He's just kind of small. So
Yeah.
I think Torrey, give him 6 to 7 carries, right? 10, I think it's a little too much for me. I think you got to lean on X, man. You got to give him 18, 20 carries, get him in a rhythm, and he can catch the ball. It's not like he is just like a power running back. Like he can kind of do everything, and he had enough speed. Clearly, we saw it last week. He can score on a long run. It's not like he's slow. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It should be a good game. Before we go into some more analysis, just got to get right. Got to get right. Big game for OU, and then big game here this weekend in Austin.
Well, for Oklahoma, what do you? Because I feel like this is your first road game since Temple. No.
No, we
I
went to
mean,
South Carolina.
oh yeah, that's right. I went to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I
and
was
that
saying,
was
what are your like
that,
main concerns? But I forgot you
my
went to
main
South
concern.
Carolina. South
My
Carolina.
main concerns really are just I just think it's material on 10. I think if he can see the field like he saw it at the beginning of the year, because for me, I'm not he's going on the road, this and that, but Tennessee's defense isn't that good. I think they're probably worse than Ole Miss. Like Ole Miss didn't have a good rushing defense, but Tennessee is one of the worst defenses in the country in pass. And they miss, I think, the most tackles in the SEC. Like they give up a lot of plays. So I think there's a lot of chances for even on some of those quick screens, quick passes for us to, turn a 4-yard catch into a 12-yard, 20-yard catch and just making someone miss. And I just think Arbuckle has to trust the run game. Like, even if it struggles at first, you got to still lean on it. Like, you got to establish that. And I'm not really worried about their defensive line. My only issue is it's going to be loud, so we can't be having popcorn football to where people are like not move, like they're like they hear the snap, but then they like move late, like it's delayed, and then like the whole line kind of moves late. Like we need everyone moving like in sync, and it'll be interesting. Foje and Fasusi, both true freshmen starting tackles, all worldly, talented. Gonna probably both of them will probably get drafted in the first round whenever it's their time. But right now they're true freshmen. So how are they going to handle on the road things like that? No false starts, clean football. We got to execute. But outside of that, I'm not too really worried about what Tennessee does because I think a lot of people are like, oh, they create a lot of explosives. They do that, which is true, but it's kind of the tale of last year where they ran up a lot of their stats on bad teams, and then when they played better teams, they struggled. However, this they put up numbers against Georgia. I'm not going to take that away. They did okay against Alabama, but
Well, I feel like it's not fair to compare the two this year because it's a completely different quarterback. That was like the problem
for
last
sure.
year was Nico just couldn't really throw the ball downfield like that. It was always inaccurate. And that was like their struggle versus Joey, who, does push the ball downfield, and that's where a lot of their yards come from. So they have a worse offense this year, but it's better than last year, if that makes sense. Like, at least player-wise. Because they lost
I
Dylan
think
Sampson.
statistically it is better this year.
But, like, player-wise, it's worse than it was last year.
Yeah, and they got some really talented receivers. I think they got 3 receivers that are all like in the 600s or 700s in yards in the SEC. So they spread the ball around.
Yeah.
But I think, they're that type of team where you stop their run game, then they really can't get in the tempo. They really, because that's when they get you, is when they get a run, they get a first down, they get lined up fast. Kind of like, very similar to Mississippi State last week. Very similar team, like play style. They got a first down quick, then they line up quick. It's like, damn, they catch a slant for 15, and it's like they start getting the defense on their heels and reeling. Watching Joey Aguilar kind of going into the tape, I think he is a good quarterback, but he plays so well within that system. I think for him, as soon as he snaps, he makes his read. It's kind of predetermined. His windup is like, it's weird. His windup is like a long windup, but he gets the ball out fast. But it's almost to where his windup or his like throwing motion takes so long to where no matter what's going to happen, he's going to go to that wherever his first primary read is. And usually the ball still goes there. He might just throw it low. He might miss on purpose. He might, whatever, if it's covered. But I think we take away his first read and generate some pressure, because I honestly think they have a good offensive line, but I think we can get some pressure with just playing 4 because we got a very good defensive line. And I kind of like how we need to go to last year where we, don't really need to blitz in this game. I think we need to just get pressure with 4.
I feel like it benefits y'all more not to blitz because he doesn't run like that and his legs aren't like a factor.
Exactly. We don't need to spy. Like last week we were having to spy, do this and that. Like we need to drop people in coverage and get pressure with, I'm not saying not blitz, but get pressure with the defensive line, and then kind of make him, get off script, off platform. Because I don't think he really is that quarterback like a Chambliss, where it's like you get him off script, or a Pavia, which we'll talk about. You get them off script, that's where they're gonna do most of their damage. So I think I'm excited. And then obviously offensively, I think they give up a lot of big plays, and we've had guys running open against good teams. So I think we can really hit some stuff this game, either in the run or pass game. And I like when it comes to matchups, I know our offense has kind of been struggling, but I still, I look at our defense and I still think our defense can hold its own against that offense. And I think our offense can get back on track. We don't turn the ball over. we'll play fine, right? Joey, he's going to give us some opportunities. You know, we haven't been forcing turnovers really this year. We have to get some this game. You know, a strip sack, a pick, maybe one or two. You know, I'm going to come out on a whim. I think Cortland Guillory gets his first one this weekend. I mean, he's been in position. He's going to get tested because that's the thing. Joey, he's going to throw it, fades, whatever. He's going to give his guys a chance. I think Cortland gets one this weekend. And, you know, that'll be the tail of the game. You know, just got to play well, got to execute. But it's a big one. It's a massive one because you win this game, right? You get a bye before Alabama. And, you know, I think if John just plays average, top 50 level QB, or if he can get back to where he was early in the season, we can beat everyone left on the schedule. However, we got to beat Tennessee this week, get to the bye, kind of recoup, get some things together, get that momentum too. And then you got to go do it again on the road in Tuscaloosa. Because right now, you went,
man, we done.
We go 9-3. We have I still think we can get into the playoffs, but if we go 10-2, we're for sure going to get in. And hey, man, you got to know what you're playing for. And you know, BV teams haven't done well after losses in the past. Like, you got to respond here. You got to do it. You got the team to do it. You lost last year. You know, this is kind of a spot where everyone's kind of counting you out. Like, I think this is where someone like John, who I think takes it personal. You know, I think a lot of people are like, oh, like he's getting paid all this money. When I hear him talking his press conferences and stuff, I don't hear that from him. I hear a guy that takes accountability, and you know, I think he will make. I think he'll play good. So I'm hoping he does. You know, I'm hoping. I'm screaming at the TV. You know, I'm hoping Xavier goes in there, throws up the X a couple times. You know, so yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. You know, I wasn't as nervous last week. I was actually kind of confident last week. So this week,
you were confident because against Ole Miss, you thought like, oh, we match up really well, blah 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 blah, and
we did. You know, like that's a tough part. Like we just didn't make the plays when they were there,
and also a player just making plays when they aren't there. That was the thing. He made plays when they weren't there. You know,
and even on the touchdown he threw to that tight end where he was wide open, bro. They got so lucky because that tight end fell and he was buried behind Jaden Jackson. He got up and then we kind of
the pocket was also collapsed too.
Yeah,
and he just jumps and makes a throw. So like
makes a play
again. Just players making plays when they're not there. But enough of y'all, man.
On to y'all.
Big one this week, man. You know, going into the season, you look at this game and you're like, oh, it's going to be a tough game. But as the season progresses, you're like, oh, this is going to be a really tough game. It's going to be a dogfight just because they've come a long way. But we heard all offseason. And if you watch also any given Saturday, Diego Pavia is very confident that they're a national championship team. I'm not going to sit here and say they are. But I think they're a team that can compete for sure. But you've seen it, bro. They went to Tuscaloosa. They competed. You know.
I mean, if you turn the ball,
turnovers happen just from forcing stuff, and that's what made it the game a lot worse than what it actually was. But when you have stuff like that, when you're able to go on the road and do those things, like you can't sit here and say that you can't compete for a national championship because. I mean, right now, I think Alabama is a national championship game team. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think they could for sure make it to the game. For sure. That's just where they're at. So if you're able to compete with that, then you have to be able to like compete for national championships. But they're a competing team. I'm not going to say that they're a national championship team, but they're a competing team. They love playing for their coach, you know, and you can tell. Defense has turned it around a lot. I think their defense is pretty good. You know, they get stops when needed.
Their defense is a lot better than people give credit for.
They get a lot of pressure and whatnot. So the game's going to be a dogfight, even if Arch is in
or rush defense.
Arch in or Arch not in, it's going to be a dogfight regardless. You just have to, you know, stay composed and play your game. I know that's been tough for us to do this year. But we're at home, so I know we've struggled at home a little bit, but hopefully, you know, just being back at home and want to be in front of the fans and playing for the fans, that helps. So, but with us, don't know if Arch is going to play still yet. He has to pass concussion protocol. But
you see what steps it's at?
I did not, but he practiced today.
Yeah, it's at like step 4 out of 6. So
okay.
So we'll see.
He practiced today, so that's a positive sign. Michael Taff also practiced today. If I'm him, I'm literally just throwing a club on, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
getting
gonna
out
play.
there.
I mean, how many more games is he gonna get in DKR? You know,
Yeah,
like he's gonna
two more
at
games
least
after
give
this.
it a chance.
Yeah, so
You know,
um, they both practiced today. So like I said, even with Arch in, it's still going to be a dogfight. Our offense, just hasn't looked the best this year, unless we're down. When we're down, we're the best team in the country, I guess. I don't know, but I saw another stat somewhere that we haven't scored a touchdown against a Power Four team when having the lead. All of our touchdowns have come from when tied or down.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I
not
mean,
that's not going to win very many ball games. Fortunately, we have. The word that I was thinking about this morning that I want to use here with our team is resilience. They always find a way to win. They always fight to the end. They never give up. And I feel like that just kind of says a lot about our team, even though everybody's been, even fans and intermedia have been talking about them. They never give up. They fight to the very end. Defense doesn't care that they've been on the field the whole game. They always will say they have the offense's back, and I guess that's just the culture that we have now, and they just show a lot of resilience. And I'm hoping that resilience comes this weekend because we're going to need it. I'm hoping our defense cannot be on the field as much just because they've been on the field so much these past 3 weeks. And they're tired, and you can just kind of tell. And at some point, it's gotta give, right? Like,
yeah, and it's starting to.
You can
I
only
think
do
like
so much.
teams are starting to find some success too. Like obviously they're on the field a lot, but I think since they're on the field so much, they're getting more snaps, which obviously is going to wear them down. But I think teams are, since they're pitting more on film, they're finding ways to kind of exploit Texas a little bit. And I think. How do you feel about Matthew Caldwell? Because I think the thing is, like, a lot of the fans, they saw him going against Florida, make
That's
that
the
throw.
thing,
They saw him
man.
miss his throw against Mississippi State. So I think a lot of fans are like, oh, like he's gonna ball out. Oh, he's gonna be playing well. If he plays well, oh, he should have been starting the whole time. However, it's a lot different starting a game, playing it all the way through, and the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows of a game. Like, I'm not saying he's gonna go out there and lay an egg, but it's just different,
From the Florida throw, he threw one throw. I think it was the only play he came in. He threw it. He threw it, and he threw a dime. But the defense was playing soft, so it was just open. It was there,
Yeah.
So I can't. That's a small sample size. I'm not really going to take into consideration. Now, the throw against Mississippi State, which won us the game, I think.
I don't even know if you can say that's a great throw either.
That's what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to word it because I was arguing with Steve, and I said the throw wasn't a dime. It wasn't a good throw. The ball was in the air forever, for one. Like, he just floated it too long. I feel like that's more of something you kind of
rainbow.
Yeah, it's something you just not throwing a line, but get it there with some force. Don't rainbow it. Receiver ran a great route, got separation from the DB, and that's why he was wide open. But then again, he threw it too far out of bounds. I feel like you should throw it back towards the pylon, not to the sideline.
Yeah, I agree.
So it wasn't a great throw, but it won us the game, so it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. And that's what people are seeing. And they see the two throws he made, and they look good. So if he does play, we probably have a full game. And kind of get to see where he is, but like you're saying, it's a lot different going and starting the game than coming in. It's more nerves. You got to pay more attention to detail. It's not just one drive, one play. It's 9 drives. I don't know how many drives you get a game, but that's
around 9 to 11.
Yeah, 9 drives. You got to be locked in for. So it'll be interesting. We'll see. I mean, it was today, Wednesday, so we got till Friday. But they probably will list Arch as a game time decision.
Yeah, that's something. I think don't the SEC injury reports come out on Wednesday? The first batch of them, I'm pretty sure.
First batch, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they're out already because usually I know I usually see them like around this time.
Yeah.
Um, but
But you know, it's the same thing as always, man. Offensive line, just get it together. Um and then just try to find a groove, man. I mean, I feel like I don't know. I just don't know how much more I can say that until I just like kind of admit. I mean, it's not gonna get any better. Like I have hope, but we're what 8 games in, and it still looks the same.
yeah,
So it just you would like to see progression, but there's been very little. Which there has been progression, but not to the standard that we need it to be.
hmm
Um, and get the run game open, get that going, create some holes for those guys, and let them do their thing. We have two really good running backs that can really make stuff happen. So I know you have a guy that is kind of a north and south kind of guy, and CJ Baxter is not really gonna juke you, but he has quick steps and quick speed when he does get the ball, so that run up the middle can turn into a 5-6 yard game pretty quick. And then Trey, who's just a power back, but who can put a little sauce on you. Um, he just gotta get in that open field. So that, and then defense just keep playing the way they're playing, man. I know it's a hard task to do a whole season this long, but uh, it's hard not to believe in our defense. It's gonna be a tough game. We played them great last year. I feel like we can carry some of that from last year to this year. I feel like if you can shut Diego down running, you're gonna have success against them. Um, and I feel that's something that we can do pretty well. And then running the ball in general, I feel that's something that we'll do very well. Um, Especially if Michael Taft's back. He's just the captain and the heartbeat of that defense, and he just helps out so much. Um, Coverage, running downfield, tackling, lining people up. You know, it's always tough when you have your captain back there. So.
hmm
But we have a lot of big recruits coming this weekend too, man. I know Dia Bell's gonna be there, and some other guys. But we have a lot of big recruits, so obviously you always want to win in front of those recruits. It just always looks good, and you get to see the atmosphere that you have, that you'll have to be able to play in. Like DKR jumping, fans loud, winning against a top 10 team. Like you're a recruit, that's gotta feel good. Like you're just seeing that, like, oh, I can't wait to get here. So, yeah, man. I think in order for us to make playoffs, we got to go 2 out of 3 with the next 3. That's saying we beat Arkansas. I'm emphasize that. That's if we beat Arkansas.
I think I got to win out, but
I don't think we have to win out to make the playoffs. I think if we go 2 and 3, because we're gonna the last 3 teams we're facing are top 10 teams. Some top 5.
Yeah, for sure.
So that has to be, y'all were a top 10 team. We beat y'all. So we would beat 3 out of 4 top 10, 3 out of 5 top 10 teams.
I just think it'll be the losses or the loss that Florida loss, I think,
for sure.
And then I think they might look at. I know y'all didn't lose those overtime games, but they might look at it.
Yeah.
I think y'all can get in at 9-3. I just think they would make arguments for other teams at that. I think 10-2 is what y'all's target
for sure.
Especially because you didn't beat Ohio State.
If we lose, the team we would have to lose to is Georgia
or A&M.
No, because we have A&M at home.
Oh, okay, got you.
I think losing on the road at Georgia is a little more acceptable than losing at home.
Yeah, but A&M might be undefeated still by the time y'all play them, so it might not be that bad.
For sure, but I just don't think it's never good to lose at home.
Yeah, I agree.
It's never good to lose, and it's never good to lose at home.
Yeah.
So, and then we go 2 out of 3. I feel like we can have a shot. But I mean, if I'm being honest,
y'all definitely be a bubble team for sure.
I really don't want this team in the playoffs. As much as it sucks to say, it's just not a team I'd want to see in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you play.
For sure, matchups for
you play
sure.
Like if you play like Tech, you feel good about it. If you play,
but it's like your goal is to go to the national championship.
Yeah.
Are we going to sit here and say our offense is a national championship offense? No. A national championship defense, but at this late in the season, for your defense to keep doing that, especially those games, it's just not going to happen.
True. Yeah.
It's just not. And
you're starting to let worse teams move the ball on you.
Knowing that we're not going to be able to score the ball because these defenses only get better.
Yeah.
I just, it's just not something that I want to see. Not this year, man. We're just not ready for that yet. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's just unfortunately where we're at. But that's it sucks, but it's also good because you know where the expectations are with us right now, just because of the past few seasons, and that's like the standard and where we need to be. But sometimes it doesn't go that way, man.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing too. It's a big game for Vandy. If they win this game, I'd probably lock them in as long as they can, as long as they can beat Auburn and Kentucky, and they could drop Tennessee. I think they get in. I think even if they drop this game and they beat, the rest of their games, they beat Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, they get in at 10-2. So it's a big opportunity for Vandy. I think Pavi is one of those guys where,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but it also looks good. Like if we beat them and we also beat A&M in Arkansas,
yeah, for sure.
Say our game is close. Say our game is close with Georgia. We'd have 3 losses, but with the exception of Florida, who else did we lose to? Ohio State, Florida.
That's it.
Oh, that's it as of now. 7-point game against Ohio State. Granted, week 1, Ohio State would probably blow us out now. But you have to talk about it as it was in that time.
Yeah,
7-point loss to Ohio State on the road at Ohio State. Florida is just kind of whatever, but you beat them and just say we play Georgia well. Because, we do play Georgia well. We just can't, beat them.
Yeah, but if you're going to play them well this year. That's the thing. True. Different team for them, too.
But that's the thing. Their team isn't as good as the teams that we played in the past.
No.
But, as we say, they find a way to win.
Yeah.
They find a way to win.
Vice versa,
Yeah,
and they've been tested, too.
Yeah.
They played Alabama. They beat Ole Miss. They beat Tennessee.
Yep.
So they've been tested. And they play Florida
Came back from both Tennessee and Alabama and Ole Miss, down a good amount. So
yeah, they were down a lot against Ole Miss.
Yep.
Yeah, in the 4th. Yeah.
So I think even if they lose to us, if we do win, it'll look good for them. 1, they lost to us at home. 2, it shows that we're still a good enough team to hang around with these teams. So it's not like a horrible loss. It's just that Florida loss. That's what's really hurting us, which sucks. But it's kind of inevitable, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's obviously y'all survived those 2 games this the last 2 weeks on the road, but surviving against teams like that, and then when you got the teams you're playing in, granted you're going to get some of these games at home.
I don't know, man. Mississippi State's a tricky one though, because they're not that bad of a team. They're really not.
No, they're not.
Their losses are just super close.
They just choke. They did it against Tennessee. They did it against Florida. Well, they came back against Florida, but and then obviously against y'all. It's just that Mississippi State loss against y'all reminded me of us against Oklahoma State in 2023 when we had the lead against Oklahoma State in Bedlam. The tempo started getting us in trouble because we started giving them way more possessions than they should have had late in the game. And that, I think, is one of Jeff Lebby's fault. He's going to have to learn how to use his tempo as a weapon and not as who they are all the time. Because, if they had any kind of other way to run clock or to bleed the clock or to kind of condense the game, they probably win that game. They were up by 17 at 2 points in the game, and I'm not, taking any credit away from Arch. Y'all scored fast, y'all moved the ball, but you got to just know, okay, that offense is, regardless of how they played all game, they're potent. They have the weapons. They have the play caller to score super fast. We have to figure out a way to condense this, play field position, and kind of lean on our defense. So I think he'll learn that. I think he is making good steps over there. this year. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah,
they
I think
figure it
next
out.
year will probably be like a really good year for them. And like I said, they're close. They're right there. I mean, all the
Hmm.
games they've been in, the losses are very close too. So, um, but big
Yeah.
weekend, man. Hopefully we win. Hopefully we win. Um, on to other news. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey has asked the NCAA to rescind its ruling allowing college players and staffers to bet on professional sports. Sankey says it is a major step in the wrong direction. I actually agree with him.
Yeah, I agree with him to a degree. Like, I definitely don't think they should, be enticing that, right? Because obviously there's all these rules, stipulations. These kids are young. They'd be like, "Oh, I just got my NIL check. I'm gonna throw $10,000 on the Seahawks." Like, oh, well, 10,000, I could plus 400 odds, I can make 40 grand. Like, there's gonna be people thinking like this.
And they play the game, so they like automatically think that they know the game.
Yeah, exactly. However, I do see a point to where it's like you can't tell, like, they are paying these kids, they are technically employees now. You can't like police them, I think, as well as you can't tell them what they can and can't do with their money. Because I look at the betting obviously is definitely worse, but I look at it as like, what's the difference with these kids, buying all these jewelry or these cars or whatever they're buying, with their NIL money, right? So I
Well,
definitely think I definitely understand it, but it is like tough because like these kids are gonna be like, well, this is my money. Like, you can't tell me what I can do with my money. You know what I'm saying?
for sure, but at the same time, it's just like if you're for one, it's just known. It's a known thing in sports. Like if you're an athlete, you don't like typically. Obviously, look at the NBA right now. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's just been a known thing in sports. It's like an unwritten rule. Well, it's actually not. It is a rule. Two, it's like a job, right? You said they're employed there.
Mm-hmm.
Your job has steps you have to follow. They still pay you, but you still have
Mm-hmm.
steps you have to follow in order to keep your job. So what's the difference in that? Sure,
Yeah.
obviously we can go on sports bet, but we're not athletes, you know? So we're not doing any harm to the game versus people who have, like insider knowledge and whatnot. I mean, because bro, if you're a college athlete, you have friends in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
like you do. Especially if you're a junior, senior, like you're gonna have friends in the NFL. Um, that's just how it is, um, or any sport of that matter. So I see your point, but at the same time, it's like you're employed. There's rules you gotta follow.
Yeah.
Simple guidelines.
I agree.
So
I agree.
next, James Franklin is currently negotiating a contract with Virginia Tech. It's almost a done deal. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a good place for him. I think it's another Power Four job. It's a Power Four job that isn't just like any job in the Power Four. It's a job that has history. That's been good. They played in a national title before with Michael Vick. They were historically good with Beamer. Kind of ran the ACC in the early part of our lifetime until he retired. And I think it's a place that's kind of been starving for that and for a long time now. They haven't been as good as they've been in the past. I think they got the support behind them. I think him landing there would kind of the expectations that he kind of built himself essentially at Penn State. I think if you could give Virginia Tech those opportunities, hey, every year we're gonna go, 10-2, 11-1, potentially make the playoff. I think you'd take that. And when you look at the ACC compared to the Big Ten, I mean, really, yeah, you got Miami who's looking good, you got SMU who's looking good, but even SMU, they just lost to Wake Forest last week, even though they've been looking good in the conference.
They
You got
look good,
Florida
but they're
State,
not as good as the top Big Ten teams.
yeah, and then you got Florida State who just fired
Norvell.
or they haven't fired him, but I think the writing's on the wall.
It's coming.
I think it's a win, not if. I think, but
Absolutely.
Norvell hasn't he hasn't gotten fired yet, but if he does, they're going to be kind of rebuilding over there, depending on who they hire. You got Clemson, right? Clemson they're kind of down right now. We'll see. Georgia Tech's obviously good, but I think they built to this. I don't know if they're going to be like a sustainable team. Brent Pry might not even be there. He might get poached with this new coaching carousel. So I think it's a good spot for him. I think it's close enough to where he was already at. He's got ties. I think he was a wide receiver coach at Maryland. I don't know where he's from originally. Could probably look that up real quick, but I think, just the location. You're right by the DC area. There's a ton of talent from there. You're so close to Pennsylvania. There's a lot of talent from there. And then you're still kind of close enough to the South to where I think, he's from Pennsylvania, to where I think the teams will or kids will want to go there. So, I think if he can get them rolling, I think Virginia Tech has a lot of momentum, and I think the support behind that school is pretty high since they haven't been where they want to be in a long time. So I would like it for him to go there. I think it's a good landing spot for him. I think that's probably the best job for him, to where there's not a ton of pressure, I think, for him to perform right away. So the only problem is I can only see pushback because their last coach that they hired, Brent Pry or whatever, I said Brent Pry earlier, Brent Key is a Georgia Tech coach, but Brent Pry was Virginia Tech's coach, and he was a DC from Penn State. So maybe they're like, we don't want another Penn State person. But yeah, I think it would be a great fit for him.
James Franklin, man.
Yeah,
we all give him crap, but at the end of the day, he still wins ball games. Mm-hmm. Sure, he might not win the biggest, but it's definitely going to be better than what your program was.
And honestly, I just think this year was a snowball effect. I think they just were such an emotional disaster after that Oregon win or loss. They fly all the way to UCLA. They're playing against a team that just fired their coach. They're like, this is easy. Probably just did not take it seriously. They obviously lost that game in a shootout, and it snowballed. And the team probably just gave up on them. And I felt like the administration was just looking for a reason to fire them. But now, we'll go into this next news before we touch on, because this other thing will kind of tie together. But, it rolls us into like the coaching jobs open right now. Right. Like Penn State, they made that decision pretty early in the season, and now they're like considered the third best job on this list. And Andy Staples via On3 put out a list of the top available jobs in college football right now. Like, I'm going to go from bottom to top. But Kent State's 12, UAB is 11, Colorado State 10, Oregon State 9, Stanford 8, UCLA 7, Oklahoma State 6, Virginia Tech 5, Arkansas 4, Penn State 3, Florida 2, and LSU 1.
And that's for the most part.
Yeah, and that's more to come. I mean, you still got Kentucky, I think, might make a decision. Wisconsin will probably make a decision. Florida State. Maybe us if we fucking shit the bed.
Maybe us if he goes to the NFL.
Yeah, and that's just off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm missing some, right? But when I look at that, I'm just like, man, when you look at the jobs, three out of the top 5 are all SEC jobs that are considered the best jobs, and then you got Virginia Tech there at 5. Oklahoma State, UCLA, I can kind of see that being interchangeable, but I think Oklahoma State probably just easier path to victory. I don't know about like the support. They don't got, Boone Pickens running around anymore. He was in the wrong era, but it's still probably considered a better job just because, the UCLA market or LA market is tough. You got USC there. You got all these pro teams there. You can't fill up your stadium. Like, we all know when Oklahoma State's good, that Stillwater's rocking. So I feel like that's a good job, but yeah, I mean, these jobs are open, man, and this is going to be one of the craziest shifts in college football with this coaching carousel this year, because this isn't even going to imply what this portal movement's going to look like. Like, the portal is going to be nuts this year. It's one window too, so like
commitments too.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing it. I mean, we flipped a receiver from Penn State that was a 4-star. We got one of the running backs that's a 4-star visiting here soon. So it's like, you're already kind of seeing some of these top schools lose recruits. However, I do think it's interesting that you haven't really seen a lot. I know LSU just happened, but you haven't really seen a lot of movement from Florida yet. So, I think that's interesting. Maybe they have their decision made up, which we'll kind of get into here soon. But
knowledge.
Brian Kelly obviously got fired. Their governor had some words to say. Basically, in a nutshell, he said Scott Woodford will not, be the next LSU coach. You guys know who that is. That is LSU's current athletic director. Carlos told me he had hired actually Jimbo Fisher at A&M. So clearly he's made 2 catastrophic hires that had very poor contracts that resulted in these universities paying a lot of money when they decided to fire these coaches. And, I think a lot of people are like, I don't know if LSU has the money to make that decision, but clearly those Cajuns really care about their football. They got the governor holding a press conference in the middle of the week talking about this specifically. Right now, they don't have a president. So kind of seems like they're forcing it into the government's hands. But, man, in my opinion, if Lane Kiffin was going to go there, I think this scared him off because you know how we always talk about Texas in the past, too many cooks in the kitchen. To me, this right here is a prime example of too many cooks in the kitchen. Not only do you have this going on, but you got the people at the school, you got the current staff, you got alumni, and now you got the boosters, and you got all these people trying to make this decision because they have no leadership right now, going over the athletic director's head. And then, calling out Jimmy Sexton, who's Lane Kiffin's agent. Like, I look at it, it's like, man, do you really want to be involved in that mess? Like,
Absolutely
LSU is a great
not.
job, but like the circus, and that's kind of what we always talked about with Florida. It's like the administration there. They've had like 30 coaches since Urban Meyer. They fire coaches left and right. But it seems like Florida would probably be the better fit for him as of now, just based off of this. Because I think Florida kind of understands. It's like, hey, we bring Lane Kiffin in. I think they gave Billy actually ample time too. Like, they gave him enough time. They built up his team, didn't, succeed. But, I don't think there was like that quick, ready to fire Billy right away. And Billy was like, compared to Lane, isn't as proven as Lane. Lane's been an NFL head coach. He coached USC, coached Tennessee. He's obviously done a tremendous job at Ole Miss and turning them into contenders. So, I'm curious to see what all this stuff does to trigger this stuff, because and another job that Auburn might come open too.
Auburn might come open.
So
I don't think they should, but it might.
I do. Just because Hugh Freeze is, I don't know, just the way he is, man. I don't know, just the way he is. More year. Yeah, but I don't know. Do those recruits stick around? Like Cam Coleman, like, man, does he go look?
It depends if
at Columbus and like see what I can go do over there. Let me just leave.
It depends if the quarterback change is a good change or not.
They have Deuce Knight just sitting there, but obviously he's not ready.
Yeah, and you have to
so maybe he's good next year.
You have to really work with Deuce and tell him that he got to get it together, and you have to convince Cam Coleman that that's the quarterback, and he's going to be good. So you have to get him excited. Well. Yeah.
It's not like they don't have talent. I mean, they actually have one of the best defenses in the SEC. And for Hugh Freeze to be an offensive coach and them to be struggling the way they are, that's something that we just kind of didn't expect at all.
Well, you did, but.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I tried to I wasn't even hating, bro. It's just, that's just who he is.
Hey, watch him, man.
This is who he is, I think he can be good, but I just don't know this is the level for him.
Yeah.
Maybe, so
we'll see.
We'll see.
We're here, man. Week 10, Cam. Week 10. That's almost over, man.
Yeah, it's actually nuts.
It felt like it was just here. It felt like
Ohio
State was last week.
Bro, it's crazy. And I think, I was watching James Madison and Texas State last night. James Madison, sneaky. But
was that great
I was watching
football?
him last night, and what'd you say?
Was that great football?
It was actually a decent game. That was a better game than what you would watch on a Tuesday because it was James Madison. Texas State isn't bad. I think DJ Kenny's kind of having a down year, but I think his team's young. He's starting a true freshman at QB. So I think they'll be fine, But yeah, I was watching that game and I was just like, man, I gotta take this in, I gotta I didn't finish it. I ended up watching, Chad Powers, but I was like, man, I gotta appreciate this because we're not gonna have this, and then it's gonna be basketball season, and then it'll just be me and you recording once a week talking about random topics, hypotheticals, recruiting, news. It's not the same when you actually have games going on. So. But yeah, man, we're on the week 10. It's kind of a loaded slate. I mean, I'm not too sure if I'm going to go to this game yet or not, the Vandy Texas game. Thinking about it, we'll see. but we kind of talked about that. But before we get into it, man, we have no Friday games this week, which kind of sucks. We usually have been having some Friday games, but starting it off, man, big noon kickoff. If you would have told me at the beginning of this year that this game would have a team favored by 21.5 points and one of the teams aren't ranked, I would be like, you're a liar. But here we are, Penn State unranked, playing Ohio State, and man,
I got no words, man.
This is one of those games where, you know, Penn State has, if Drew Aller was healthy, Penn State has a talent to where they could win this game easily. They can, but obviously they don't have James Franklin. Obviously they don't have Drew Aller. But I think the trump card in this game that people aren't really talking about is, remember, Jim Knowles left Ohio State to be the DC at Penn State. And I think Ryan Day is going to want to beat them by 40 to prove a point.
Absolutely.
And I can't blame him. You know, so right now I think the spread is at 20.5. That was off of memory. But I think it's at 20.5 right now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that I think they will cover.
It's not crazy. I mean, by far.
No, it's just. Well, I just don't even know if Penn State will move the ball.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. It's by far the best complete team in college football, just from what we've seen. You know, they take care of business versus everybody. I feel like Julian Saints keeps getting better and better each week. Hard not to, right? Look at who he's throwing to. And then their defense is it's Patricia, man. Like, it's better than what it was last year. So it's not crazy to think that they're going to cover, because I actually think they do cover as well.
Man, top 10
especially
in every
with this
category.
year with Ohio State, Penn State is just, man.
Yeah, it's not looking good, man, and it sucks because, you know, Drew Aller stayed, he got hurt. Bro Perula entered the portal. He looks like he looks better than Aller did this year. And I mean, he obviously got hurt. It doesn't look too bad, is what they're saying, but
yeah, might come back
we'll
this
see.
Season. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope he does.
But next game we also talked about going to, but hey, 2 games at the same time, can't do that one. Miami at SMU. First time Miami is on the road first time Miami has left the state of Florida this year, I would say.
Which is insane, bro. How is that even allowed? Like,
I don't know.
We're like this is the end of,
it's literally going to be November. About Texas' schedule. Like, what are we talking about,
it's going to literally be November. We're going to be been playing football for 2 months, and the fact they have not left the state is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
And right now they're favored 12.5.
Yeah, I kind of like. I know this ain't chips and slips, but
hey, you know, I love me some hate watching, man. Come on.
Some sirens. Hey, I mean, look, I don't know. They might struggle here, right? Like, they just, for as much weapons as they have, as good as the defense is, I feel like Carson Beck, like you were saying, just kind of holds them back. And we'll just have to see. It's their first road game. SMU is a decent team. I mean, I think SMU only has 1 loss in conference now. Like, this is a massive game in the ACC. And I feel like they're going to show up and, like, you know, show out, like, as a fan base. So, this isn't Miami's first road game. They went to Florida State.
That's what I said, left the state of Florida.
Yeah, but still, like, we'll see how it is. We'll see how they travel. We'll see, like, how that is. You know, it isn't an easy trip. You know, and I know they get on planes and stuff, but, like, it's just going to be different, man. It is going to be different. And I don't know. Miami, they're kind of like a team that's kind of forgotten. I mean, they don't really play anybody of note, you know, so.
Yep. Next, we already touched on it, man. Vandy, Texas. Hopefully we win, man. That's all I got to say, man. Indiana at Maryland. Could be a scary game for Indiana here. Not going to lie. What's the spread right now? Probably Indiana a lot, 21.5.
Yeah.
I can see Maryland covering, man. They always get one.
Yeah, I could, but man, the way Kirk Cinetti was talking about them, giving them the credit, making them sound like the 85 Bears, like, dude, there's just something about that guy where he is just so locked in and so dialed, and like, I just feel like his teams are just ready to play. I mean, last week, I know UCLA was kind of, you know, feeling themselves after 1 to 3 in a row. But last week,
blew them boys out the water.
He literally made them look like
to the shed.
Okay. But last week, you know, he took care of them. You know, he got them up out of there. And it's a scary game, but dude, the way they just play, the way they look, I mean, they literally look legit. Like they literally look like they can win a national title, and they're on a collision course with Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, and I think they would have a shot in that game just based off of how they've been playing and how they look.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I don't think they mess up here, but if this was a game to kind of make it a little close, it would be this one. I mean, I know they played Iowa tough, or Iowa played them tough, and Iowa's actually pretty good right now. But hey, man, I don't know. Kirk Cinetti, man. I just think he wins.
Yeah. Google me. Next, 2:30 kickoff on ABC. Not the game we're expecting, but the Dogs are going over to the Swamp. We'll see how.
No, it's in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, it's in the neutral site. This is last year, right?
Yes, it's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party is what it's called.
Yeah, it's the last year they're doing it in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, which is lame, man. I like that, but they not us, bro. They not the Red River, so it's fine.
But
it's fine.
I don't think this one's gonna be close either. It's Kirby, man. Hey.
I actually disagree with you.
Really?
Here, yeah, I think when you fire a coach, sometimes I know they loved Billy though. Like they played their ass off for that man. But I think when you fire a coach, you get a bye week. You got nothing to lose. You got a rival. I think they got the talent. Obviously, they beat Texas. Like, I think they come out here swinging. I'm not saying they win, but I think
they come out swinging. But I don't think they're winning.
I mean, look what they did last year, though. They were kind of in the same spot.
7.5. That's about fair, I would say.
Yeah, but they were kind of in the same spot last year. And Lagway was tearing them up, bro. Then he got hurt, and then that was kind of what it was. But I think if Lagway would have finished that game last year, they might have beat Georgia. And listen, I think
Colt McCoy would have stayed in the game against Alabama, we would have beat them.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe, I don't know. But, like, we don't know, right? But I'm just saying, like, they had the lead. They were moving the ball. Like, they were taking care of business, and he gets hurt, and then boom. And even when he got hurt, I mean, they were still able to kind of hang in there for a little bit. This Georgia team, while I don't think they're as good as they were last year, like from a complete standpoint, I do think their offense is better. The receivers are better, and Gunnar Stockton is better than Carson Beck, playing good football, not turning the ball over. So I think that's kind of like the differentiating factor. But hey, I'm just telling you, like, you turn this game on and it's close in the fourth quarter, like, that's sometimes what happens, bro.
If they lose, I don't want to hear. If they lose, I don't want to hear anything.
Because LSU might be doing the same thing in a couple of weeks when they play Alabama after the bye. Like, you could tell those players wanted Brian Kelly gone. They got the talent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they might just play better.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you fire a coach, there's no tendencies. Like, you don't really know what to expect from like a
interim coach.
Or like a play calling standpoint. I mean, hell, they might be running fake punts and whatnot. It might be getting crazy.
Like the UCLA guy.
Yeah, no, literally, like, you don't know what that guy does. Like, he got caught lightning in a bottle. Obviously, he got shut down, but that's kind of what can happen. So we'll see. But
yeah, 3:30 ABC. 2:30 ABC. Another 2:30 kickoff. Texas Tech at Kansas State. I feel like this is a big spot for Tech here. It's
a dangerous game, bro.
It is a dangerous game. K-State's coming alive a little too late, but I mean, hey, you love to ruin some people's seasons, and they can absolutely do it right here. I would be very shocked if Texas Tech does lose this game. I'm not saying that they're gonna win by a million, but I would be shocked if they lose. But I could see it being close.
This is a dangerous spot.
Yeah,
it's because they're going to be on their third string as well.
Yep.
Tech. So.
Yep, because Hammond's out for the season.
Hammond towards ACL, and then Morton, ACL. I think, is still
banged up.
Whatever. Let me see what's going on with him. Morton. Oh, I think he's playing. He's not on this injury report. So that's good at least.
Yeah, that's huge. But yeah, I don't see them losing. I really don't. I think the defense is too good. I know they lost against Arizona State, but Arizona State was also supposed to be the Big 12 winner this year. so you kind of already know what that team is.
But
But
they said he's ready to go.
Ready to go. Sling that pill, man. That obviously opens up that offense a lot. So, what's his name? Dickey, get him going. He can run the ball and catch the ball in the backfield. You have the receivers on the outside to do it. So, they should win, but the game could also be close.
Yeah, and this could be a game where Avery Johnson, I mean, he played well last week. I mean, right now he's kind of turned it around. 15 touchdowns, 2 picks. You know, he hasn't actually been playing as bad as he kind of started off, but you know, maybe this is the game where he plays a better defense, where he kind of comes back down to earth.
Yeah.
And but this is it's a dangerous spot. It's just hard to play in Manhattan.
You know that all too well, huh?
I know it too well. Yes. Yeah. God dang, it's so annoying. AK State.
6:30 NBC. This is a huge game, actually. USC at Nebraska. This is a game that a lot of people had circled on their calendar very early.
Yeah, man, and I'm glad that it sucks that Nebraska got blown out by Minnesota. It really does, because like this game could have been maybe game day. It's a top 25 matchup. But this is a huge game for Matt Rule, and it's a huge game for Lincoln Riley, because both teams have 2 losses. USC only having the 1 in conference, so they're still in the hunt for the Big Ten championship. They'd obviously need some help. They need Indiana or Ohio State to drop one or something, but they're still right in the playoff mix. I think both teams are. Whoever they go 10-2 here, either one, I think they'll get a chance. They'll respect that record in the Big Ten, and yeah, this is a massive game for both teams. For Lincoln Riley, they've kind of had some injuries at the running back position, and I think if they were healthier, they might have a better record right now. But it is what it is. And then Nebraska, they've made massive improvement this year. But my God, bro, their offensive line is horrendous. It's so bad. I mean, Raiola actually makes plays. He looks like a really good quarterback. He looks like a guy that was a 5-star, but he's not like the fastest guy. And when you don't have protection, when they like to throw it all over the yard with him, and then when your running backs are, not really performing, and he kind of got average skill players on the outside, I mean, it makes it difficult to win. And but this is a bit, I mean, they're at home, I think that their fans will show up. It's at night. They're wearing all black, just like Tennessee. But they're wearing all black, and we'll see. This is a massive game for both coaches, because I mean, you win this game in Nebraska, you definitely can feel like they haven't won the big one yet with Matt Rule since he's been there. They've been getting better. Be a big one. They've been beating the teams that aren't that good, but you beat USC, it's like that's a brand that people know, recognize. And then for Lincoln Riley, it's like,
on the flip side, you kind of this is a game you're supposed to win. So
yes,
you need to win this game, regardless of what implications are there or not. It's a game that this is a game that you should win no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. They got to win this. He's been there a long time now, as long as Brent, and he finally has I think this is probably his most complete team. I think, probably his best team, most complete. Obviously, he had Caleb and stuff from a talent standpoint, but I think the receivers that he has, I think the QB fits the system great. Their defense still isn't great, but they actually can rush the passer. And when you look at the matchup, Nebraska's O-line isn't that good. USC they're not good on defense, but they can get, pressure on the QB and get sacks. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I'm excited to watch this one. I probably don't know how much I will be watching it, because it's on the same time we're on, but I'll be tuning in, checking on it.
Yeah.
So
another 6:30 kickoff, ESPN2, Georgia Tech at NC State. If Georgia Tech continues to keep playing the way that they're playing, man, the defense is pretty good. They're fine in this game. For you to go on the road and Duke and win, which was, in my opinion, probably a bigger road test than this one will be. Mm-hmm. That's got to give you some confidence, especially for as good as Duke is. That's got to feel good. So going into NC State, a team that's not as good as Duke, in my opinion, I see them just taking care of business here and coming away with another dub and slowly inching towards Charlotte.
Yeah, the line is 5.5. NC State usually is a scrappy team. They play teams tough.
But so is Georgia Tech.
But so is Georgia Tech. This is the game they're ready and they want. And we got to really start having a serious conversation about Haynes King being in New York. I mean, he's literally doing what Pavia is doing. Just obviously not against SEC teams, but I mean, he's putting up numbers and he is like willing Georgia Tech to a lot of these wins, like essentially their whole offense in a lot of ways. So, I think when you look at it, they're undefeated. They're top 10. Like if they go all the way to the ACC championship or win the ACC, like he has to be in New York. I feel like, I feel like he has to be a Heisman finalist.
If they continue to win, yes, but it's tough, man, because you got Ty that's up there. You got Fernando Mendoza that's up there.
Marcel Reed.
You got Marcel Reed that's up there.
Chambliss
is like, I don't know. Like
Pavia.
I think he should be ranked ahead of Pavia, but to make it there, I don't know, man. You got some tough competition. You gotta beat out. And I just don't see that being a thing. Especially if those people keep winning.
TDs and 12 rushing TDs.
If those people keep winning, he's not making it. Like,
yeah,
he's just.
I agree, but I mean, it depends if he keeps winning too, because he's
Julian saying like
Georgia Tech has a
Jeremiah Smith.
There's a very strong chance Georgia Tech could be a 4 seed.
Absolutely.
If they went out, So I'm just saying, if they're that high, I think he gets an invite because of that.
Absolutely.
So
maybe. Tough.
We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see. I'm excited to see what they do.
That means
I picked
Alabama's probably going to be a top 4 seed, and so is
Indiana.
I think
the SEC will have. I think the SEC will have 2. Yeah, I think they'll have two 4 seed or 2 top 4, whatever.
So
I think that them and the Big Ten. I can see the ACC not even unless they go undefeated. I can see the ACC not getting a bye.
Yeah,
I can see the SEC and Big Ten. Like because you can't really punish Indiana and Ohio State. Like if they both go undefeated,
I don't see A&M making the top 4 seed. If that's the team we're referring to.
If they win the SEC, yeah. Whoever wins the SEC,
but they're not winning the SEC.
You don't think so?
Nah. Like once they play
they just can beat you all kind of ways.
I would say us, Alabama, Georgia's. I think that's where that team would shut down, and then you bring in the Ohio States, that's where that team will shut down.
Yeah, but I think
Oregon.
Oregon, they're not gonna get a. I think they'll.
No, I'm saying when you start playing these teams like that, I think is where A&M starts to decline.
Got you.
Because if you look at their schedule, it's been very favorable to them. Stuff has fallen in their way. Like again, they play Mizzou this weekend. Pribula's hurt. Last weekend they played LSU. Speaks for itself. Weekend before that, they played Arkansas. Pittman just got fired. Crazy game.
They should be undefeated by the time they come to Austin. And if they win that game,
because
they should.
What the schedule was supposed to be versus what it turned out to be. That's what I'm saying. Stuff has fallen their way.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not very high on them. But hey, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're winning the game. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and they've won all kind of ways too. They won shootouts. They won ugly games. They've won with special teams last week.
Because I'm gonna say
that's why
if you take Notre Dame right now, I think Notre Dame beats them.
I can't say that. I don't know.
I think so. Notre Dame's a lot better than what they were. CJ Carr's came. Both CJ Carr and the defense has been completely different.
Yeah, the CJ Carr when he played against USC, when the competition got back up, he did not play well. He got carried by those running backs.
I mean, he didn't have to play well. Hey,
I'm just saying though,
go, man.
I don't know. I would still lean A&M
sure.
just because of what I've seen against consistent challenges.
Yeah.
But
they're talking about
like I said,
I think Colin Klein going to Oklahoma State
as a head coach.
I think that's what I saw.
That'd be a good hire, I think, for them.
If I'm Mike Elko, I'm going to Penn State too. If they're calling, I'm going.
Nah, he's not. A&M's a better job than Penn State.
He just fits Penn State.
Shit, he fits A&M.
Nah, he's just a good coach.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, he embraces their cult. He fits.
You have to in a sense, but as a coach, the type of coach he is a Penn State coach.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
that's true.
But last but not least, the team that I did not expect in the top 25 or to make much noise. Looking back at week one, kind of wish they won that game, but Cincinnati at Utah. Uh, I mean, this is pretty big, right? This is kind of an eliminator? No. Well, kind of. Maybe. If Utah wins, I don't. Let me see what Cincinnati's schedule's looking like. Arizona, BYU, TCU. I mean, it's kind of a tough spot for Cincinnati here because that BYU game's going to be tough. And they still got to go to TCU. Yeah, TCU's not like the best, but it's still a team that can light up the scoreboard.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one because, I think Cincinnati could easily be undefeated right now. I think they made some mistakes against Nebraska. They had a chance to win it late in the game, and they ended up losing. But what they've done since then,
and the dumb pick,
Sorsby, that's another guy that could be in New York. I'm not saying he will, but
was not expecting that. Huh?
Nobody expected Cincinnati to be this good. Nobody expected Cincinnati to be literally they're a legit playoff contender in the Big 12, and this is a massive game in the Big 12 because Utah's they already have 2 losses. It kind of is what it is. They need some things to go their way, and they got to win this game if they want to get into that championship game. And Cincinnati, undefeated in the Big 12, can kind of essentially write their ticket. They got to keep winning. I think they play BYU as well. Cincinnati does, but still, man. I mean, what an opportunity for them to get everything going. And Scott Satterfield, he might get some calls, if they do well this year, like the coach there right now, he might get some calls, man. And they got Utah this week, Arizona at home, then they got BYU at home, massive, get them at home. Then you get TCU at the end of the year, which, TCU is decent. They're a challenge, but they win this game, man. You're kind of sitting there looking like, damn, we got BYU at home. And that's BYU coming off a Tech game. Like we might be able to have a chance to get back into the playoff. And I think people don't realize Cincinnati is a pretty good job. I think, Power 4, good city, and then you're in a good recruiting area. Ohio, you got a lot of talent in that area. Chicago's close. Detroit. So yeah.
Last but not least, I don't know if you want to talk about it again, man. We already touched on it. Probably the biggest game this weekend besides ours. I feel like our 2 games are the biggest games this weekend. Oklahoma going on the road to Tennessee. Hey, man, Rocky Top, man. That place get a little rowdy, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, we got to take care of business. Got to play clean. Got to execute. We got to get some turnovers this game. Got to run the football. And John, the guys are open. Hit them with the football. Tennessee's defense gives up stuff. They give up points. They give up yards. We have the players and we have the talent to do that. And I think our defense is good. Our defense has played well enough for us to win every game so far this year. Even though we gave up yards last week, we still had bad field position, put them in bad spots, and they still, held teams to field goals and things like that. This is a massive game for Burt Venables because when you look at the schedule, this could easily spiral in the wrong direction, and you could easily be, potentially staring at potential 6-6 in the face. However, I don't think that'll happen. You got, Missouri, they might not have their QB when they play us. We got them at home, and then LSU. Who knows what they'll look like when we play them at the end of the year? But in order for us to get into the playoffs, you have to split, I think, at least this game and the Bama game. And if you can get the Tennessee game, go and then get that bye going into the Bama game, you feel a lot better about everything. It's a lot harder to go beat Alabama after another loss and then a bye. So I think this is probably I've been saying it a lot this year, but I really do think this is the biggest game of Brent's career because I think the trajectory in the past, we've started off hot, the seasons have kind of faded, and then we'll either start off just bad and then kind of squeaking our way to a bowl. But if he can win this
position before, man,
if he can win this game, and if he can win this game and bounce back again after a tough loss on the road, you can shut a lot of people up. We handle business. I just want to see.
Man.
I just want to see us dominate a team. I'm not, but I don't even. I think it'll be tough. But I'm not like.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's gonna be tough.
They're just not like. They're not like super elite though. So I'm
no,
not like
they
really.
aren't, but I think it's just.
And they haven't beat any good teams this year.
Yeah,
like
the Power 4 teams they beat this year are combined 1 in like 17.
1-17 in conference. Yeah. So they haven't beat any. I know they should have beat Georgia, right? I know they struggled against Alabama, but like
that's the thing that I see. Like regardless of. That's the thing. It's like regardless of how bad you think they are, like you say this and that, like they're still able to put up points regardless. So that's like the scary thing is like, I guess that's the question is how
is better than both those teams
for sure. But how confident are you if a shootout were to happen? That's I guess that could be the ultimate question.
Yeah,
here.
right now I'm not that confident because I haven't seen that level of consistency.
And we just saw like a potential shootout that could have happened last week, and look what happened.
Yeah,
at home.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We had plenty of chances to win that game with mistakes, turn the ball over, guys open. So I think we are capable of playing in a shootout. And I actually, if we were to get in that, like if the offense somehow finds like a momentum in this game and plays how I know they're capable of, and we get to a shootout, I would be okay because I feel like in a shootout, the team that has the better defense will come up with plays and will help win that game. And I think that's where we would fall. Like I said, we just have to get some turnovers and we have to get them behind the chains. And we just need some, some Sooner magic, man. We need some kind of like turnover. We got to get out on them early, man. Like I would love if we can just like suck the air out of that stadium. Like they get the ball first, go 3 and out, we go score. Then they come back, same thing. We go score. They, turn it over. We go score. We get up on them 14-0. They will get extremely nervous. I think even if we scored first, they would get nervous. I know they got the offense and stuff to stay in the game, but, I would love for us to get a lead on a team and then have our defenses pin our ears back against, that kind of offense and, and then run the ball. And because I think we can. Like we've shown we can run the ball these last couple of weeks. Like let's just be consistent with it. And continue to run it. This team is like one of the worst countries or worst teams in the country in missed tackles. They gave up a ton on defense. Like Kentucky's QB last week had like 400 total yards. So I'm like,
that wasn't against us.
Nah, he didn't do that to y'all. He didn't move the ball.
That's what it felt like.
It was like 2-6, 2-7. It felt like that because y'all couldn't do nothing.
We couldn't do anything.
But. Yeah, man. I'm nervous, but I have a feeling that this is the type of game. This is the type of game I think what makes Mateer who he is and what we've seen. I think this is the type of game where he can find himself out of it, and I think he can cement himself and
you got to wait all day long.
Yeah, but hey, last time we had a big game and I had to wait all day long. Came out on top against Michigan.
You passed out. Drank too much
that was against Auburn. That was actually earlier too. That was a 2:30 game.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, this is like I said. I think the team's gonna be ready when you're amped up. You're at night. You got to be laser focused. You got to be locked in. Like
that blackout, man. So they come.
The energy's gonna be there for us. Like we got you can't not have energy when you play in a game like that. It is what it is.
They're for sure coming with it.
Yeah, and they're gonna come with it. It is what it is. But like I said, it can go one or two ways. You can let that place just get on fire, or you could just shut them up fast and make them nervous, start spooking them.
Yeah.
So, this is Oklahoma, man. You win these games. Like Tennessee is not on the level of Oklahoma. We got to take care of business.
Yeah, clip that. Hopefully you get roasted.
We got to take care of business. I mean, this is true. Like
Tennessee's not on the level of Oklahoma. Y'all heard that here.
Neither's Ole Miss. We lost that game, but you got to take care of business. You can't lose.
You heard what Lane said. Come on, man. Watch your mouth.
Yeah, Lane need to show us those trophies Ole Miss has.
Watch your mouth.
I'll wait on that. But hey, man, I'm excited, man. Mateer get back game, Mateer get right game.
I thought that was last week, man.
Gods were open. That's on him. I mean, the thing is, he started off playing well. I mean, he threw that beautiful deep ball to Satanga the first drive, and that guy, he had a Canic open, but he threw that long touchdown to Satanga. I mean, he started off well, and he just tensed up. Like I just need him to just kind of let loose. I think too, he's playing a little tight. You know, I think like since the injury and like since the Texas game and throwing the picks, like I think he's just like, oh, let me not make the mistake. Like, no, bro, just cut it loose and like just trust yourself and trust your eyes and where you like. If you think it's there, throw it, bro. Like, don't wait and hesitate.
It's not. You got to spot. Pay 6.
Nah, not throwing it. Their defense is not good.
Yeah.
So if we don't get, we got to be able to move the ball. We scored 30 points in this game.
That's your line, 30?
Yeah, we scored 30. I think we win.
Yeah.
You know,
y'all score 29, lose 29-31.
No. I would love a 35-17 point or 17. I would love a game like that. Just a dominant statement game. That'd be amazing.
A big double-digit win.
And a couple defensive turnovers. Need a Kip 6, man. He been quiet this year, man. He had 2 last year. He need you. And I'll say you need a David Stone strip sack. Need a Cortland Guillory pick. Need a Arm Mason.
David Stone's too busy arguing with Lane Kiffin.
Man, listen.
That boy lost and went up to him after the game like they didn't just lose.
He was trying to talk to him, bro. He wasn't even like giving him. He was just probably like, "Hey, I was giving you mess, whatever." Lane Kiffin got to be a child on TV. It's all right.
That's how Lane Kiffin is, man.
I would love when we made the playoffs and saw them again. I would love it. Need that. We'll see.
And they'll be on a neutral field, so I don't know if you'll need that. Y'all were at home and y'all lost.
I wasn't. Yeah, we lost because we lost the game. Oklahoma lost the game. We made mistakes out the butt. Guys were getting missed, fumbling and kickoffs, illegal formation, and then a special teams penalty. Now we're on the 3-yard line.
You sure you weren't watching Texas?
I'm just telling you, man.
And I'm saying, you sure you weren't watching Texas? So that's something we'll do.
So, hey, Oklahoma can't beat Oklahoma, man. I mean, if we have Mateer plays like he's capable of, we can win the rest of our games. And it starts this week against Tennessee. Starts this week against the Vols, man. Got to take care of business. Man.
But, again, appreciate y'all guys for coming, tuning in, listening, watching, wherever you receive the feed. We appreciate it. Big weekend for both of us. Hopefully both of us come out with a dub. Would love for us to do that, especially going into a bye week. Huge momentum and just, letting some players rest and rest happily. But that'll do it.
Because in the next week, we both got big games after the bye.
Don't remind me. But that'll do it for boys over here at Opinionated Man. We'll catch y'all guys next time. As always, welcome.
Boomer.